गुड इवनिंग, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज ये शो ऑस्ट्रेलिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान के सेमीफाइनल, और इस शो को जो है आप तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमारे साथ ताउन किया है अपनी दुकान मेगा इंटरनेशनल फूड, और इसके साथ हमारे तमाम दोस्त जो कि शो को आप तक पहुंचाने में, जिसमें M9 स्पोर्ट्स का भी बहुत बड़ा हाथ है, वो ताउन के। और आज का शो स्पेशल है, और आज का शो जो है उर्दू एंड इंग्लिश में मिक्स होगा। आज के शो में मेरे जो को होस्ट हैं, लेट्स मी इंट्रोड्यूस माय को होस्ट। माय को होस्ट नेम इज मैक्स, एंड मैक्स ही इज अ वेरी talented guy. He represent just I'm a little bit extra, you can say. Super excited for Max. Max, premier cricketer, and he's the cricket journalist as well. Someone's calling me in live shows. And Max, good evening, Kali Sepera.
Hello, Sajid. Yeah, thanks for having me. What a special occasion it is tonight. They got the big game coming up in a few hours, so super exciting. And thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much for your time. First of all, for those who are watching our live show, and for especially my friend, please don't call me my live show, because your live call is starting and asking a lot of questions, because today's show and tonight's show is hosting by Max. And Max, as I told you, he's not only a good host, he's a good cricketer, he's a wicket keeper, it's his left hand better as well. And we'll talk about tonight's match. And what's the agenda tonight, Max?
Oh, there's plenty on the agenda. It's going to be a big game, and obviously we've got some special guests coming on who have got some background information about some of these players. So I'm looking forward to hearing all that. But the two big teams facing each other off tonight in the T20 World Cup semi-final, Australia, Pakistan. So it's going to be interesting. I want to hear a little bit about some of these players and what strengths they might bring to this game tonight, because for some of us, we might know a lot about the Australian players or a lot about the Pakistan players, but tonight we're going to hear from both sides, and we're going to get some really good background information heading into the game. And it's a very close game. I don't know who to pick. It could go either way. So, there's plenty to discuss about both teams.
Yep, as I mentioned earlier, you are wicket keeper plus your left hand better as well. So tonight we will talk about Mohammad Rizwan versus Metu White, and what both are wicket keeper, but one is right hand better, one is left hand. To who you support a lot, and who is your favorite?
Well, look, I'm from Australia, so I love the Australian cricket team, but I love following all cricketers from around the whole world. In the Australian team, I like Marcus Stoinis. I love the way he goes about it and the way he bats. He's got some really good power that's quite amazing to watch. Chris Gale, he's entertaining. He's always someone that catches my eye. And Babar Azam from the Pakistan team, he's a superstar. He's had a very good tournament. So I'm excited to see him tonight. Harris Ralph, he played for the Melbourne Stars in the Big Bash League, so he's another player that the Australians, they know him, but he also knows the Australians. So that's going to be an interesting contest tonight to see how they go. But yeah, that New Zealand team last night, Kane Williamson, he's done a very good job as captain of that team since he took over. So there's all sorts of players. And Neesham as well. Last night we saw him hit those big runs at the end to win them the game pretty much. That firepower is quite impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing all that tonight and seeing who is going to take on the New Zealand team in the final.
That's fantastic. And just what is the agenda? And we already talked about the agenda. Now we will talk about our guest and who is the special guest tonight in our show. And I just give you a cue for all of those people who love to watch Big Bash. And tonight we have a Big Bash superstar. And now Max gonna a little bit talk about who is the special guest tonight. That's Max. Who is the guest tonight?
Yeah, so we've got two special guests tonight. Very lucky to have them. We have, firstly, Peter HATZOGLOU, who is now at the Scorchers in the Big Bash League, the Perth Scorchers. So he's going to join us tonight. He's my brother, as you see, the same surname. But I'm looking forward to hearing what he's thinking ahead of the final. And then we got MOHSIN Abbas, who's the owner of M9 Cricket, a brand that's growing fast in Australia and around the world. So it's exciting to have MOHSIN Abbas, who's also got some Pakistan background. So he'll be able to give us some good insights tonight, and also Peter, who has played in the Big Bash professionally, and he knows a lot of these players. So I'm looking forward to hearing from both of them.
Yeah.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Max and Sajid, for introducing. I'll let Peter to speak because he's our special guest, and we want to get a lot of professional insights from Peter.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on. Assalamu alaikum to everyone listening in. And yeah, it should be a really good game tonight. It's funny. I've played with people on both sides of both teams. So Ahmad Wasim last year in the Big Bash, and I've played against Harris Rolf as well. I've played with Aaron Finch for the Renegades and Kane Richardson as well. It's going to be a really exciting match tonight, and I'm really keen on watching the two leg spinners. See how good they go tonight.
So as he mentioned, two-leg spinner, Max, let's talk about the spinner. But before that, for all those people who is very excited for tonight, look at our dresses. We are the blue and is representing Australia, and then white color is representing Pakistan. And look at the MOHSIN, and he also, the dress color is combination of Pakistan and Australia. It is very hard to decide to who we're gonna support. So before going to leg spin, I think we should a little bit listen what the superstar talk about tonight's match, and then we continue this conversation.
Yeah, so
very comfortable chasing. So you look at Rizwan, you look at Babar. At the
Pakistan has been the team of the tournament. I think the way they set the tone for years, India never defeated them in a World Cup match. I think jumping that first hurdle really gave them a lot of confidence.
Their balance has been outstanding. So at the moment, they've not really showed any weaknesses at all. And Australia are going to have to be at their absolute best to be able to try and open up a little avenue to be able to try and capitalise on.
If you look at the way Pakistan play, they're a team that's structured to play a 150, 160 game. And because the bowlers are so good, the bowlers are constantly giving them targets that their batting side is very comfortable chasing. So you look at Rizwan, you look at Babar. At the 6, 7, 8 over mark, very often they're only scoring a run a ball or slightly better. And then they start to accelerate. If they had to bat first on a 170, 180 pitch, then I'd like to see how they go about it, whether they're willing to take their chances early, because Babar and Rizwan just like to bat and bat and bat and bat and bat, but they'll have to bat very differently when that happens.
But has that middle order been tested enough? Early couple of wickets and things might be different.
For me, that could be defined by how well both teams bowl, or should I say how well they bat in the power play. Because when you've got Stark and Hazelwood and Cummins to a lesser extent, and on the other side you've got Shaheen Shah Afridi primarily, and then outside of the power play they've got some options. I think it could become a power play battle, could.
I would say just attack them and be aggressive. Just not take a backward step, because Australia will always come at you.
The Pakistan side, the biggest challenge for any opposition is to be able to not allow Pakistan to get on a roll. As soon as Pakistan are up and get on a roll, then they're really hard to stop their momentum. So it's making sure that you start well, whether it's with bat or ball. You want to start well and not allow the Pakistan team into the game. As soon as their emotions are up and they're flying high, and they have been, it is really hard to stop them. So the Australians have got to start incredibly well, whatever they do first.
Well, interesting insights there from a few of the experts in the TV coverage. One question, I think, and we'll go straight into it. MOHSIN, I'll start with you. Do you think, how will you think the Pakistan batters will go against the Australian fast bowlers. You know, you got Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins. They all bowl, 140 plus. Do you think they'll be okay against that pace and those bowlers?
Yeah, Max, it's a really good question, and I've been thinking about this for the last, few days since we know that Australia are playing Pakistan. The good thing about today's semi-final is Pakistan got a similar bowling attack as Australian. If you look at Mitchell Starc, we have Shaheen Shah Afridi bowling at similar pace, similar skills, bowling good Yorkers. So Pakistan is pretty much covered if you look at Mitchell Starc. Then you go to Josh Hazlewood, for example. He bowls a good length. We got similar bowler with a similar skill, Hassan Ali, who is very smart bowler, bowls a good length. And again, I would say pretty much Pakistan is again covered in respect to that particular, skill that Australian has. And then you go to Pat Cummins. He's bowling 140 plus, 145. He's a very smart bowler who bowls slow one, good one, who bowls a good bounces. Again, we have Haris Rauf. Again, similar skills, bowl 145 to 150. Comparing Adam Zamper versus Shadab Khan. So bowling-wise, pretty much Pakistan and Australia, and I think they got similar skills. Where Pakistan better because they've been practicing with with their bowlers and they got similar skills. I believe if they bat smart as they've been doing, Babar Azam and Rizwan, crucial partnership at the start will be really important. Keep the wickets in hand, maybe first 8 to 9 overs. Pakistan shouldn't lose more than 1 wicket, and they're right in the game. I think in respect to the strength of Australian bowling lineup, Pakistan will be fully prepared because they got similar skills. And I'm going to, predict a very close semi-final tonight. It's going to be a really good game, and Pakistani batter would be prepared.
Yeah, and it's good to get that insight because the Pakistan fast bowlers are just as good as the Australian fast bowlers, and I've seen a bit of Haris Rauf. He's very similar, in terms of pace. He's just as quick as all the other Australian bowlers. So it's going to be a good contest to watch. Now, Peter, tell us a little bit about the spinners in both teams. How do you think it's going to play out? And what are your thoughts?
Look, I think Ian Bishop said it there in that little introduction video. He spoke about the power play and how that's going to be a really important part of the game. Whoever wins the power play, I think, will have a really good chance of winning the rest of the game. So Pakistan have Imad Wasim, who bowls a lot of early overs, who bowls those early power play overs. And when you look at who Australia played when they played against the West Indies, there was a bowler named Hussein, and he bowled these big in-swinging spinners, very similar to what Imad Wasim bowls. And I think that matches up really well. You keep hearing all these commentators and all these coaches and players, they talk about matchups. And I think Imad Wasim will be a really good matchup with Aaron Finch and Mitch Marsh if he comes in at 3. On the other side of the equation, there's Adam Zamper. Now it's no secret that Adam Zamper just tries to hit. He's one of the best bowlers in the world, and that's because he just hits the top of the stumps every ball. He's so consistent, and he's not a big spinner of the ball, whereas Shadab Khan is a much bigger spinner of the ball. But yeah, they've both got a different skill set. Adam Zamper's really accurate. Shadab Khan has really nice big turning leg spinners, and it's going to be a really exciting competition between those two. But yeah, I think it comes down to who wins the power play.
Max, you're on mute.
Sorry, now you got me. Sorry, I was just on mute. With that, it was interesting what you said there with Imad Wasim and Aaron Finch. You played with both of them in the Melbourne Renegades side, Peter. So you think that would be a good matchup? Is there any reason? Did you see them in the nets and you noticed Finch struggling against Imad Wasim?
Yeah, look, it was a good competition between those two last season. Imad Wasim, I think naturally he'll favour himself against the right-handed batters, and the other reason why I say he'll bowl really well to Finch is because Finch probably struggled a little bit against Hussein in that last game against the West Indies. So yeah, I think. Look, I think on the other hand though, David Warner is probably going to back himself against someone like Imad Wasim, and on the other side of the equation you've got Babar Azam, who's probably the best batter in the world at the minute. And Yeah, he's someone who'll be backing himself against Mitchell Starc and a lot of these other Australian bowlers too. It'll be a really exciting matchup, and it'll be interesting to see one if Australia goes with Ashton Agar, or if they go with that extra batting option as they have been.
That will be interesting, and I think they've been using Glenn Maxwell as that second spin bowler, so it will be interesting to see how they go with that. Now, Moshi, I wanted to ask you about some of the batters in the Pakistan lineup. You know, obviously Babar Azam, he's a superstar, but are there? So, can you tell us a little bit about some of those top order batters that are in the Pakistan team?
Yeah, for sure, Max. I think as Peter discussed about Babar Azam, everyone knows Babar Azam is a world class. Nowadays, he's in, a fabulous five. They call, with likes of Kohli and Williamson and, Steve Smith and all kind of these guys. But if you look at the other hand, we shouldn't undermine the performance of Rizwan, who's been leading run scorer for the whole 2021. He's already scored 1,600 runs in the calendar year, which no better has done before in T20. He's in one of the prime form of his life. So Pakistan is not only relying on Babar Azam, and the other thing about Rizwan is in top 3 leading run scorer for the World Cup as well. Josh Butler he was the second leading scorer. They're out of the World Cup. I think now Babar Azam and Rizwan will be really crucial tonight against wonderful bowling attack, Australian bowling attack, and it would be, as I said, it would be a test for them. As Peter mentioned, the power play will be a really key in this semi-final. Whoever wins the power play, they would have a really good chance. And I think the good thing about Pakistan is everyone has contributed in some way. We have played 5 games, won 5 games, and we have 5 different man of the match, which is a great sign. And that is why we call this as a really great team effort by Pakistan. And a couple of guys, they are due for performance. For example, Mohammad Hafiz, he has played really good cricket for the last 20 odd years. He is due for a performance like Maxwell, for example, for Australia. So I think Pakistan is in really good condition, in really good setup. They have a confidence. And first time I've ever, in my last 20 odd year where I'm playing cricket, watching cricket, I've seen Pakistan confident against Australia. We never had that confidence before. I think this will give a really good edge to Pakistan tonight.
Yeah, thanks for those insights. I just thought of a question, and it's do you think we see England, they got knocked out, and England got knocked out. Who was the other team? India, of course. Can't forget India. So both those countries are coming off IPL. So do you think there's a little bit of an advantage for Pakistan because they didn't play in the IPL beforehand? Peter, maybe you can answer this first, but do you think because they haven't been in the IPL that they get a bit of an advantage because they haven't been playing as much cricket? You as a player, you would know sort of the workloads and the pressure on the body. What do you think? Do you think it's a bit of an advantage?
Yeah, look, I think there are a bunch of different components to it. You've got so many of these international cricketers have been on the road traveling for a very long period of time. For example, Liam Livingstone, he went from the IPL. He's gone to the World Cup. He's come from the 100 in the UK, and then he might be going to the Big Bash as well this season. They've been on the road for such a long period of time. And the other thing is as well, the other part of all this is when you're coming together as a team in a short tournament, anytime you can get in before the tournament starts to help sort of get to know, get comfortable with one another, because the reality is cricket nowadays, it's so fast-paced and so fast-moving, and people are coming in and out and going around in circles all the time. So I think, Pakistan will have a bit of an advantage having been able to come together really early before the tournament to gel and bond. But on the other side of the equation as well, a lot of these Australian players, Pat Cummins is the youngest in the team. They've been playing together for a really, really long period of time. So they'll have that really good chemistry with one another as well. And I mean, David Warner and Aaron Finch, they've both been opening the batting in Australia white ball cricket for a long period of time. So yeah, there are different varying effects of all these different tournaments. But it's just whoever turns up best on the day, I think.
And MOHSIN, obviously India and Pakistan, there's a good rivalry there and a good contest. Has there been conversation about Pakistan having an advantage because the players haven't played in the IPL before this tournament?
Yeah, I think it's the only advantage that I see for Pakistan is because Middle East conditions, Sharjah, Dubai, it's pretty similar to Pakistan conditions. So it's like a second home to Pakistan. That's why where you see a little bit more advantage to Pakistan compared to Australia. But as Peter mentioned, half of the Australian team, they're already playing IPL. For example, they've been there for last 3 or 4 months, and they know the condition pretty well. And I think Pakistan might have a little more advantage because of the similar conditions. At the same time, Australian superstars, they're already playing there, and it is going to be tough, really tough game tonight because, as Peter mentioned, matchup skills, or it's a when we talk about the skills and we see skills in both teams, Australian and Pakistan, I think in batting and bowling, they have similar skill set. A few top superstars are due for, making run, for example, Maxwell, Steve Smith, and it's not easy for Pakistan as well. Whoever wins tonight's game, I think could be the champion as well.
Yeah, and interestingly, just before coming up to this game, Cricket Australia, they announced that they'll be touring Pakistan next March. I'm just getting the date up right now. Yeah, next March, they'll be going back to Pakistan. It's been a very long time since a team has toured in Pakistan. What does that mean to all the Pakistanis, and especially, everyone back home that hasn't been able to watch too much international cricket, but now they will get. What does that mean?
No, I think it's a really, really a great player for Pakistani nation as a whole, because how much they love the game. It's in their blood. And looking at recent situation where New Zealand was in Pakistan, they pulled out their tour at last minute. England was supposed to tour Pakistan. They didn't go to Pakistan. And I think Pakistani nation is a true lover of the game. They want their stars to see playing in front of them. And it's a really massive news. And again, I think Australian timing is really, really good because they did it right before the semi-final, just to get maybe a little bit more psychological, pressure or whatever, just to make Pakistani team happy. I think, again, they wouldn't be thinking about this at this stage, but it's a really great news. And I think if the tour goes ahead, it will be really good for Pakistan cricket as well. Good on Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sajid, what do you think about that announcement that a team will be coming to Pakistan to tour, and it's going to be Australia?
That's very good news for not only for Pakistanis, is all our cricketers. Especially, I was watching one interview of Sharif in the World Cup. He's a Scotland player. He said, "I learned a lot of cricket in Pakistan, even he was born in somewhere in UK, but he went to Pakistan to learn how to swing, how to do reverse swing." So whenever the Australians, especially the young boys, and whenever they will go to Pakistan, they will learn how to handle that batting pitches, how to handle when when you see their bowler, especially in Pakistan and India, it's very hard to face spinner. So it's a good experience for a young player for Australia as well, and of course for fan. I have a question to ask Peter. How important the factor, especially in this World Cup, as compared to fast bowler, the leg spinner, when you do the leg spin in, especially in the after the factor, it is the same problem with as when we do the off break, but any advantage for leg break, because mostly you use that wrist to turn the ball and control the ball.
Yeah, look, I'll get to that question. Look, I think it's so important that we talk about Australia and Pakistan and the tour that's going to happen. Pakistan has 200 million people, and I think as Australia is one of the bigger cricketing nations, we've got a responsibility to help develop the game all around the world. And look, 200 million people in Pakistan haven't seen a lot of international cricket of late, and the more we can engage that many people in the game of cricket, I think the better it is for the whole cricketing community. As for leg spin bowling versus off spin bowling, look, it seems to be a bit of a trend right now. Other than Yasir Shah, who's playing for the Pakistani Test side, I don't think there's really another leg spinner playing international or Test cricket around the world. They're all sort of seem to be off spinners. Whether it be Nathan Lyon in Australia or Ravi Ashwin in India, they all seem to be finger spinners, off spinners. So, look, I think generally speaking about the two different styles of spin. Off spin, you can be it's probably less of a movement. You're just moving your finger rather than your whole wrist. So with less movement, it's probably a bit more easier to consistently bowl on one sort of spot, which is really important in Test cricket. In the one-day cricket and 2020 cricket, you want to have a bit more variation to keep the batter guessing. You know that they're going to come after you every ball. So if you've got a skill where you can bowl leg spin and it makes the ball do funny things, it maybe spins a bit more and it makes it really hard for the batter to hit that a long way. I think that's something that's going to be really valuable in 2020 cricket and one-day cricket. Me personally, I love my leg spin bowling. I'm a leg spin bowler, so I'm always going to sit on the side of leg spinners. But there's definitely a place for off spinners like Ashton Agar, who bowls so beautifully. And look, tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets called into the lineup tonight. Baba Azam, the top of the order, right-hand batsman, Ashton Agar matches up really well against him. And then obviously Mohammad Rizwan as well, another right-hand batter too. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ashton Agar comes into the squad tonight to bowl in those power play overs, some left-arm orthodox, which would be really hard for those right-hand batters to face.
That's very good. As you mentioned, you love to do leg spin bowling. As my knowledge, you are a medium fast bowler. What made you change from medium fast bowler to leg spinner bowler? Mostly the medium fast bowler or the fast bowler, they by nature very aggressive. But when you decided to do a spin bowling, how do you control your emotion when you do spin bowling and you used to be a medium fast bowler?
Yeah, look, I changed to leg spin bowling when I was young, and I've basically been bowling leg spin since I was young. I used to try and bowl like Shane Warne, trying to bowl those big turning leg spinners, but as I got older, I got a lot taller, and I probably got a lot stronger as well. So I think what suited me better was trying to bowl leg spin, still try and spin the ball, but just try and bowl it a lot faster than what I used to bowl it. And it just so happened that a lot of guys like a lot of guys in world cricket, like Rashid Khan, for example, were bowling that fast leg spin, which became really effective in 2020 cricket. And I was fortunate enough to get my chance last year in the Big Bash. Just bowling fast leg spin.
Yep. So, Max, over to you.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I want to know what the build-up's been like in the Pakistan community with this game and coming up to it.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question, Max. I'll tell you the build-up for this game. I think there are more than 4 or 5 different places in Melbourne where people have put a 100-inch big screen. It's I think they have already made the arrangements. It's all get-together happening. And I believe same is happening in Pakistan. Every family member is getting together at one place. I think having a like Christmas party for them. It's they're really looking forward for this big game because for us, for me, honestly, it's I can be on the safe side because if Australia wins, I'm wearing Australian top, living in Australia, being an Australian citizen. If Pakistan wins, still I got the Pakistani hat. So I'm not losing tonight. I'm just looking for a good game of cricket. And I think whole Pakistani living in Australia, they would have the same excuse. But our heart is saying Pakistan, the way they're going, they deserve to win the semi-final. So it's a really good build-up tonight.
So what you especially cook at home, MOHSIN? Like in my gathering, I heard somewhere is barbecue and is a biryani. Sound is a little bit weird. We will start that food at 1 a.m. but we love to watch cricket and eat biryani as well. What about the menu at your home, Mohsin?
Oh, I think I just literally came back from training, and we had a season launch tonight. So we haven't planned anything. I literally haven't seen the kids yet. They're just upstairs. So hopefully after this show, and we're gonna plan, and we definitely gonna have a big night tonight.
That's very good. Peter, like as most people know, you played in Melbourne as well, and then you went to Adelaide, and you played there as well. As compared to both state between like both city, Melbourne and Adelaide, what's the major, you can say, difference in the player thinking, or you can say the what you learn a lot in Melbourne during your cricket and what you learn a lot in Adelaide?
Yeah, look, there are a lot of differences between Melbourne and Adelaide, mainly the weather. The Adelaide, it's a lot drier here. It's the driest city in Australia. It doesn't rain very much, and the wickets are so hard, and they're really good for batting in Adelaide. In Melbourne, it's almost the complete opposite. Melbourne's one of the wettest cities in Australia. The wickets are soft. They have more grass. When the pace bowlers bowl, the wickets, it moves around in the wickets, and it swings a lot more as well. Look, in Melbourne, I was really fortunate to have a lot of mentors like Fawad Ahmed, who used to play for Hoppers Crossing when he first came to Australia. A lot of my team members at Melbourne University Cricket Club and my team members at Sunshine Heights Cricket Club as well in Melbourne were so good to me, and I learned a lot off them. As I came to Adelaide, I've probably learned how to bowl in really good batting conditions. So. Wickets that don't offer a lot of spin. The ball doesn't spin much in Adelaide. It's been really good to try and bowl to people like Travis Head when I'm training with the Redbacks, and Alex Carey as well, who are both left-hand batters. I have to practice a lot against the left-hand batters too, which is something that can be really difficult at times. So, yeah, it's really nice to see two entirely different set of conditions, but I'm really excited. Hopefully I can get out to different parts of the world and see what the conditions offer there as well.
That's wonderful. Someone sent me a message, and the question is, they say, please ask to the Peter. He wants to be leg spinner bowler, but he doesn't know how to turn the ball.
Yeah, well, that's funny because I don't turn the ball much either. I think there are a lot of different ways to bowl leg spin bowling, and there are a lot of different ways to bowl all sorts of different bowling. You look at Adam Zamper; he's one of the best leg spinners in the world at the minute, and he doesn't really turn it that much. His strength isn't the spin he gets. His strength is his accuracy. If people watching him tonight have a really close look at where he bowls, he's hitting the top of the stumps almost every ball he bowls tonight. And he's so good at doing that. And he's not turning it a lot. He's only turning it a little bit. But that's all you need to do. And look, I think if you do really want to turn it, and you're really hung on turning the ball as a leg spinner, which everyone should be. Everyone should be trying to get a lot of revolutions on the ball and trying to turn it. Then just think the best way. This is what Fawad always said to me when I was younger. Just pretend you're grabbing a doorknob and just twist it, just like that. The same thing with cricket, with bowling leg spin.
That's very good. Yes, Max.
Yeah, and Peter, can you tell us a little bit about how you got to know Moshi, and obviously Moshi owns M9 and runs the brand. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to know Moshi?
Yeah, MOHSIN and I, MOHSIN, how long have we been friends for now?
Nah, 8 years. I was when I joined the club, Sunshine Heights, in 2010. I saw you as a literally a young kid like my son, 9 years old, and it's amazing to see you growing, and not only you but all of you brothers. I think your dad has done an amazing job helping you out with the studies and your cricketing journey, and it's a really proud moment for me. I mean, you not only representing Sunshine Heights at a high level, and also representing your family, cricketing, loved family, and my brand as well. I never thought someone will be using my brand in Big Bash, but I had a dream when I started my brand in Sunshine Heights. So it's been more than 8 years, and I think it will be, if you can tell people about how we know each other, or how our relation is.
Yeah, no, it's been great, MOHSIN, and I'm really proud to use M9 gear and represent your brand as well. Hopefully, I can take it to the Pakistan Super League one day. We'll see how we go.
Now, looking forward for that, and I always say to your dad, one day I will be going with Peter when he got selected for PSL, and we will have a good time in Pakistan. And you would see the love the Pakistani nation has for cricket and for the overseas players, and it's a safe country.
Yeah, no, plenty of samosa. I just want samosa. That's how it's kept me happy.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Moshi, can you tell us a little bit about how people would be back home in Pakistan now, and what it'd be like over there?
I think it's. I have just got a lot of messages on WhatsApp, and like we have a lot of groups of cousins and a lot of friends, and it's as I said before, it's like a Christmas for them tonight, because they have first time ever Pakistan played such a big tournament like that without losing a game in a round games. And I think the way Pakistani team looking at this day, they already won the hearts of not only for Pakistan but also around the globe, all cricket lovers, the way they're playing, and looking at the situation where they didn't had any international cricket for last, I think, more than 3 months, where they haven't played a good competitive cricket. They're just playing their local leagues, which is really, I think it's a really good build up. And hopefully, I think they will make a nation proud tonight again.
Yeah. And something I've noticed is their fielding, Moshi. Has the fielding improved a lot the last few years? Is that true to say?
Yeah, I think if you look at the Pakistani cricket, if you look at the World Cup recently, we haven't done too much damage with our fielding. It's and that's a positive sign. It's and you can only, it's one of those skill in cricket where you have to have, it's, if you're a batter or bowler, you can learn all kind of those skills. But fielding is your intention, is your how much you're into the game. And I think I can see that motivation in Pakistani team. They are throwing out on the boundary wherever they're fielding. They haven't done anything, as I said before, drop catches, and that has costed them a game. If I look at Pakistani front fielding compared to last 10 years back, I think they've really made a good progress, but still a lot of work to do.
Yeah. It'll be an amazing story if Pakistan won tonight and they go to the final.
And I think just to add on that point, maybe that's the only one area where Australia has a little competitive edge tonight. Otherwise, we are having a good matchup tonight.
Okay. Max, this is one surprise for all of you. And someone joined us from Abu Dhabi. And he's the Pakistani fan, and he's the big fan. And he went to Abu Dhabi from Melbourne. And good evening, Nasir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Peter and Max, I'll just introduce to Nasir. He's one of those Pakistani, as I said, the cricket is in their blood. He's one of that bloody loved cricketer who has, as soon as restrictions were off, he just took a flight on the most costliest flight, and straight away flight to Dubai. You see him all the cricket ground in the world wherever Pakistani is playing, and I think he will be only Pakistani. You see him in every ground, and I know him for last 10-12 years, and he's a really crazy mad cricketer lover.
Yeah, and he will be Chacha cricket in the future. So he will represent Chacha cricket. So Max want to ask some question, because you joined us from Abu Dhabi, and we have Peter. He is a superstar. He represents Melbourne Renegades, and we have Max. He's also superstar, and he's the host tonight.
Yeah, Nasi, can you tell us about your trip over to Dubai, and where are you right now, and how's it been?
Yes, actually, hi, how are you? Actually, I'm just outside Dubai Cricket Stadium, and here the guys are gathering outside the Pakistani restaurant, and we actually haven't done any of my lunch yet or breakfast yet. So I'm just about to do my breakfast at 4 o'clock.
And wow, and how's it been? Are you going to go to the game tonight? And what's the atmosphere been like at the games?
That will be electric, absolutely electric. It won't be the atmosphere which was in yesterday in first semi-final, because here we've got a lot of Pakistanis, and we can see a lot of Pakistanis came from UK, US, Canada, everywhere, and even from Pakistan. So we will gonna see a very good match, and the atmosphere will be super electric.
And Nasir bhai, just
You
a
guys will
quick
enjoy
one.
the atmosphere, even on TV as well.
A quick one from me. If you are there, stay there till we won the World Cup, and make sure you bring 4 tops for us, all of us, for Pakistani winning shirts.
Why not? I've already got it.
All right, thank you.
Even Australia will win it, I will bring it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Nasir. At the end, do you want to ask any question from Peter? He is a leg spinner bowler and he's a superstar, especially in Melbourne. Any question in your mind you want to ask regarding tonight, Nasir?
Sorry, Sajid, I can't hear you. Okay, sorry, I have to bring the mobile here.
Nasir, I've got a question for you. Can I ask him a question?
Yes, mate.
Nasir, you've been to a couple games now. Tell me, so many of the commentators and the players are talking about the dew and the wet surface when it starts to get dark. What do you think about that? Now you've been over there, you've been watching the game.
That is a huge factor. Actually, yesterday I played. I'm also a leg break bowler, and yesterday I played a cricket match here in Sharjah, and I have felt the dew. There was a lot of dew. And I think whoever will win the toss, and that will mean that they will win the match 75 to 80%. So the toss will play a very, very significant role. Yesterday, we have played 2020, and we have seen that. The ball was not gripping.
And Nasir, can you describe the weather for us? How hot is it over there?
It's beautiful weather. It's just the weather which cricketer loves it. Any cricketer will love that weather. It's not hot, it's not humid, and it's tremendous.
Thank you very much, Nasir. So, thank you.
Wow.
Yep. Thank you very much, Nasir. Max, there's a beautiful comments, especially about you. You can read the comments. Great hosting, Max. You are the great addition to VOA. So, people will love to see you on this platform, VOA. Last week, because we almost being finished, and the last round is mostly we do prediction, and MOHSIN gonna explain because he been in this translation since I think first match of Pakistan especially. So MOHSIN, आप अगर explain करें तो हम किसका prediction करते हैं? I'm talking about in Urdu, sorry, and because I will be behind the screen, a lot of people they keep calling me, and from my side, thank you very much, and over to Max, MOHSIN, and Pira.
All right.
Thank you,
Who's going to take away
for prediction? For me, prediction again. This time not hard. Even my mind is saying Pakistan, the way they have played this World Cup, have a competitive edge playing in the same conditions. Again, Australia is a tough competitor, hard to beat them. They have done it many times. They have, beaten us in semi-finals, in finals. I think this is a good chance for Pakistan to take the revenge. So my gut feelings with Pakistan, and I'm supporting Pakistan.
Yeah, look, it's almost a flip of the coin. It's going to be so difficult to pick a winner tonight, but I think I have to go with Australia. I have to pick Australia just because I've played with too many of those guys, and they're really well experienced. As are so many of the Pakistani players as well. But my bias is coming in, and I think Australia is going to win it tonight. But, geez, it's going to be a good game.
Oh, it's very hard to pick a winner. I'm struggling. I think it's going to be a very, very, very close game. Obviously, Pakistan, they beat India. You know, that game, India only made 150.
Yep.
And 0 wickets, and they got the score. That was a very impressive game that they played. Australia, they've only lost one game. They've also had a really good tournament. They started, we didn't know how they'd start the tournament, but the way they have finished, I think they've got a bit of momentum going with them. It's very tough to pick a team, though. I think Australia, that game, the one game they lost was against England. They only made 125, and England chased that down in 11 overs. So I don't know. It's very tough. My head says I think Pakistan, just because of how well they've been playing, but I want my home country to win. Hopefully Australia wins. And, I think it's going to be a very close game. So very tough to pick one team. But I think just the way Pakistan have been playing, winning all 5 games, and Australia, I think they're coming in with some really good momentum. I think it's tough to pick a team, but it's all about which players perform best will win. So I think it's how the best players perform, and that's how the game will be determined. But yeah, it's a very close game, and I can't wait to watch it.
Thank you very much once again. And thank you very much for all of you, and thank you very much for those people who keep calling me and keep sending me messages about this show. And thank you very much for liking our shows. My prediction is Australia, and I don't know. My prediction is Australia, and it's look like Australia.
All right, so I'm competing with 3 people tonight.
Yep, and I must say it will be a very good match. And one other thing, tonight I love to watch Mr. Stark and Shaheen Shah Afridi, because I love fast bowling. And the other side, I love to watch David Warner, and Pakistani side, I love to watch tonight Fakhar Zaman. So both follow all of them, left arm and left hand batsman. Once again, thank you very much, Mohsin. Max,
before we finish, Sajid bhai, I just want to thank you very much to both Peter and Max coming on a short notice. Literally, I called Max at 9:35 tonight, 25 minutes before the show, and as always, I think he said yes. I'm really thankful to you, Max. I know you've been an amazing host. You've been an amazing guest. I've seen you growing really well, and same with Peter. Peter, thank you once again giving us 1 hour of your precious time. I know you're busy with training Premier Cricket, BBL Cricket, and I wish you really, really good luck this year with Scotches, and hopefully you bring BBL home. And Max, I wish you good luck with your future endeavors. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Moshi, and appreciate coming on. It was good to chat about the game.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much once again.
Pakistan Zinjibad, is that right?
Yeah, that's what I want, Peter. Thank you. I'll take you to PSL. Don't worry, we go together. We might get a contact after tonight.
All right.
Peter said Pakistan Zindabad. It means I can change my prediction. Maybe Pakistan gonna win tonight. So Pakistan Zindabad. Definitely Pakistanis come out. Yeah, Pakistan Zindabad. Anyway, it's the night time. It's almost 11 p.m. So in the Greek language, we can say Kali Nikhta. It means good night to everyone, and see you on Sunday before that final match. I hope tonight match will be very interesting. Whatever who win, I love to watch a good game. As we enjoy the Pakistan versus Afghanistan, we enjoy Pakistan versus New Zealand. Pakistan versus India was a little bit one-sided game, but tonight I love to watch a good game. And once again, thank you very much. And once again, we want to see Peter to represent Australia in Pakistan, in Lahore, in Karachi, in Peshawar, in Rawalpindi, and then we will invite Peter as well in our show. Thank you very much once again.
I just want to take one each to Peter. Peter, as you said, Pakistan Zindabad, Aussie, Aussie, oi. Go Aussies. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Do you want to add anything, Max? Do you want to add anything?
No, it's all good. I cannot wait for the game. Very excited.
Okay. Thank you very much once again. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.